this topic, I've got a few that I need to discuss, but the single parent, I don't know what I'm going to title this video. It's just the way it come to me as a conversation, so I don't know how I'm going to title it out there, but yeah. Basically, growing up in a single parent household, how does that affect you? But I'm going to say it like that because I had my dad there. He just wasn't there. I mean, and a lot of times he wasn't there. There's so much years and years of gaps that he has never been there. In prison or this, and just a bit horrific when it comes to him and my upbringing, to be honest with you. But I will say, I'll go by what it's like having a dad that's not really there from that point of view. It's definitely hard. And I think the number one thing as an adult, which I realise now, is that I never knew the example of what a good man was. I never knew what a faithful man was. I never knew what a man that was dedicated to his family, that put his kids first. I never knew what a man was like or what true love was like. I never grew up in that type of household. My household was very abusive. My dad would get drunk. He was in prison for drink driving all the time. I can't tell you how much times he's been arrested for that anyway. And then his violent outbursts, and when he was there, he wasn't there, and his womanizing, big part of my upbringing. A very, very big part. It shouldn't have been that much of a big part for someone so young, but it was. It really did affect me, to be honest, in a lot of ways. And then him not really being there, and then having the nerve to dictate my future. I can understand if you've done the most for me, then, and yeah, you've done the most and you've been there as a parent should, duh, but he wasn't. Like, I never felt protected from I felt quite scared of my dad, to be honest with you, but I never felt protected. Like, you know, where you have a parent that, you know, I can't, like, if someone was to put their hands on me, like, don't ever touch my child type of thing. I never felt that type of protection. I never had that. Like, my tutor, I had a tutor fucking Upton Park. I don't know, he must have thought this way. He was back in Ondo State, because he definitely was not. This is a civilized country and you don't go beating people with the cane. He threatened to beat me with the cane, right? And I never forget that time. I was just like, what? I was 15, and I was just, how can, who do you think you are? He wasn't even an uncle or anything. Proper serious with the cane. I never went back to that man. My mom was like, no. And my dad was like, well, that you should be learning. That's just the way things are. And I'm just like, what in God's earth? Someone would put you, someone is not even any relative, not like that makes it any better, but just completely, God knows where, could dare put his hands on me with a cane. Not even my own parents have ever touched me with a cane. The last time I've ever had a sugar cane was 98 when it was in my mouth. Not to be beaten with it. And it wasn't even that serious anyway. Who likes algebra? And then to tell him, and it doesn't mean that you should stop going. Yeah, I told you if you don't get into Oxford, then I'll disown you. This is what I'm trying to say. Like, when he was there, he was never there, and then he had the nerve to dictate to me. So I felt like from that age, I was just gravitating and doing my own thing. And I lied that I was in college for 2 years doing law when I was doing media studies, and then after that I did graphic designing, and he didn't know that. And he was just very much like that. Like, you have to do this, you do this, you don't do this, you do this, shouting every opportunity. But then I never felt like he had a right to be telling me what to do and when to do it just because you're a parent. You've never been a parent, let alone a father, to then tell me what to do, how to do it, and what's not acceptable, when your behaviour has literally effed up my life. Because certain things that he's done and certain things that I witnessed have definitely played a crucial part in what I accept from men within my adult life. I went from my first relationship that time, bloody hell, was very abusive, was verbally, nearly, could have been an ounce physical when that hand was raised, but it wasn't, never got that point. But being undermined and accepting that, like, knowing that it was wrong, but I accepted it. From the first time I started dating people, like, it just was a continuous pattern, accepting people's nonsense behaviour, accepting being second best as long as they show me attention, accepting everything under what I really deserved because of the love that I lacked, that I was never shown from the man that brought me into this world. I only know pain and what it's like to have your heart broken, and what it's like to feel disgusted, and what it's like to feel I know pain very well. Very, very well. I know abandonment. But I never really knew what love was, you know? Like, he never showed me. I never knew what love was. So when I started dating, anyone that would show me the slightest bit of something, that you're nice, you're handsome, or you've got nice eyes, or oh my god, any compliment, I would instantly be enticed. Like, instantly. Like, I would be giving people my time that did not deserve my time whatsoever, should have never had it, I should never even blink that way. But just because of them showing me attention, I would give them that time, because I almost felt like I was obliged to, because it's not something that I grew up with. I never grew up with that type of attention. I never grew up with men wanting me like that. And I feel like what my dad didn't do, I went searching for unconsciously in ways I should never have been searching for. But how are you meant to know that if you're not taught that? Like, it's very important with parents that they show how affectionate they are to their children. It's very important that you install what love is, and what and you're enough. Like, you're beautiful, you're handsome, you're going to be successful, you can do whatever you want to, you can achieve whatever you want to. Because everything that I tried to do, I always second guess myself, and I would never ever see it through. And I used to think that was a problem, but it was never a problem, because I lost confidence in myself, because I never thought I was good enough when I wanted to reach a certain point with it. And that all stems because of him. All stems from him. Like, you was never there, you never showed me what you should have shown me, but then you come into my life in the spats that you come in after 2 years, after 3 years, after this, and then have the nerve to dictate to me what I should do and what I shouldn't do, and then tell me I'm a disgrace, that I'll be disowned if I don't do this, and I'll be disowned if I don't do that. But what have you shown me? Why didn't you show me what it was like to be a good man? What a good man, what an upstanding man was meant to be like. I never had that. So I never had an idol. I never grew up in the most loving, householdy type of thing. I mean, my mum was there. And I love my mum to bits. Like, without my mum, I wouldn't even be here. But I never really heard I love you or all that stuff. I mean, it was obvious with little stuff, but I think when you hear it a lot, when you grow up around it, you know what to value when you're older. So anytime I liked someone, I would instantly be so clingy. I would literally think it was love. And it wasn't, because now I know what love is. I know what true love is now. Oh, I know what it is now. And that's how I can differentiate what it wasn't. And what was, it was just a boy desperate looking for attention and looking for affection. And I needed to pull myself back and really assess myself and assess where I'm going wrong and what is wrong and what those insecurities are, where they stem from. Because a lot of it if not all of it, does stem from the lack of his presence. And just that lack of affection. No, growing up with an African-based household, even though my mum's Bayesian, I grew up in an African household, trust me. It's very, it's tough. Like, I still have it, I think I still had it kind of good, and it wasn't that good. But both my parents were born here, so things are a bit more lenient. But my dad still has that raw African mentality. It's just a bit westernized and a bit cockneyfied from time to time, but it's still very much there. And I feel like the problem is these people, these men don't do and don't achieve the things that they really want, so they push it onto their kids, but they push it forcefully. Like, it's like, you want to live your life through me, and if I don't do it the way that you seem fit, then I'm a disgrace and I'm this and I'm that, when you should be living your life for yourself. And just for the simple fact you didn't get to do what you wanted to do, it should be enabling me to have a better life. But they don't see it like that. And the one thing as well that is wrong is because they don't take responsibility. My dad will never ever apologize for what he put me through. He would never even acknowledge it. Never. It would never. It's you. I don't speak to him. When I do see him, what you're doing is not good. Why are you treating me like this? You know I'm your son. You only get one father. I don't care what anyone says. I'm your father. I don't care. Suddenly he thinks my mum's influencing my brain and I'm being brainwashed and all this stuff. And it's like, no, stop blaming the whole world. It's you. It's you. You made this. You did that. Not my mum. Not Mary next door. Not her, not him, not them, not anyone else but you. Like, I feel like if I did have a sorry and that he did take responsibility, I do think that things would be a lot better. But all the times that I needed him, he was never there. The times when I really needed to see what a real man is like, I needed to aspire to be that man, that guy, that I needed that. I feel like if I would have seen that and I would have grown up with someone who's extremely someone that could have been a prime example of someone that I would have loved to be. You must be crazy. That would be the worst thing on earth, is to end up like my dad. Oh my God. Well, I would never, because I'm already much different anyway. Like, mentally and everything. Like, I'm cool. But I would never, and it used to scare me. When I would go through the stuff I was going through when I started dating and stuff, and things were just not working, I would take it extremely, and I'll just always think, there's something wrong with me, there's something wrong with me, is it because I'm this, is it because I'm this? And that definitely is because of him. If you don't go to school, if you don't study this, you're going to be disowned. If you do this, then you're not my son. If you do this, then you're this. What the fuck are you wearing, son? Go and change. Wear this. Do this. Be this. Act like this. You have to do this. You're talentless. Never forget when he told me I'm talentless. He said I have to go to uni. My brother is obviously not going to go to uni because his talent is football. But me, I have to go because I'm talentless. So I have no option. Yeah. Not being a good man. A fucked up and a dysfunctional household could really impact you in your life, especially in adulthood. Especially. You don't realise it. You don't realise it until you hit adulthood. And I feel like you always realise it when you really are in love with someone. That's when things are just like different, you know. But yeah, I'm very proud of the person that I've turned out to be, because, you know, could have been much worse. I mean, I've still never been arrested. I don't smoke, I don't drink. Pretty alright. Can count how much people I slept with. And that's one thing, yeah. One thing, especially when you're going through dysfunctionality like that, it's so easy to find solace in sex. So easy. But I never did that because I always valued it. Always. But people that I valued it with didn't value it in the same way. It was just sex to them. And that was another thing. So that's what I mean. Like everything that was just... everything that should never have got to me the way it did, I took extremely wrongly because I was just putting too much into people that wasn't meant to be there in the first place. But if I wasn't so needy, if I wasn't so desperate, if I didn't need that attention, if I wasn't so, I don't know. So I was yearning for like a man. I just yearned to be loved, but I didn't even know what love was, so I was accepting anything and just Jesus. Now I'm an adult and I know what love is. I think this subject was more of the father aspect than the actual single household mum struggling aspect. But if you want to hear about that aspect, just put it down because I'll definitely give some examples about that. I could definitely tell a little story about that, but I want a conclusion to this. If you guys have ever been through anything similar, like, or your father hasn't been in your life and you just don't blame yourself. There's a lot of things. That's why I always have to make people accountable for things, because when you start to do that, things start to become a lot more clearer and the healing can start to begin. Like, if you can't heal what you don't speak. So if you don't speak about things, then you will never be able to start the healing process. I would like to know your stories with your fathers or your mothers, and if you can relate to it, just let me know. And yeah, love yous guys. I'll see yous lot in the next video, because you know there's going to be another one. I'm ready to go.